Antalya and the 2025 European Coastal and Beach Sprint Championships. You can see that launching the boat's a little challenging, but we are here on the beach for this afternoon's B finals. I'm Martin Cross, and with me is Niamh Hayes.
Good afternoon, Martin. Yes, we've had an exciting morning of racing. We've had heats in 3 categories, and now we are into the final B of the Club Coastal Men's Solo. That'll be kicking off at 3 p.m. local time, so just under 5 minutes time. We then have the Club Coastal Women's Coxed Quadruple Sculls. That will be 3:30 local time, followed in by the Club Coastal Men's Double Sculls at 4 p.m. So we already know who's going to be making it into the A finals, which will be taking place tomorrow. But these are the B finals coming up. So with the Club Coastal Men's Solo, we'll be looking for rankings placing 19 to 32. We're looking at the start list here now. So 14 rowers, they're already out on the start line. In quite beautiful conditions. Sun is shining. It's in the early 20 degrees, about 22, 23 degrees Celsius. Wind has changed direction. It was easterly earlier on, then it changed to south. So we're here, set up on the beach, and we're noticing a nice breeze here, Martin, in on top of us.
Yeah, it's lovely, actually. And you can see the scullers at the start there, the Coastal Men's Club singles. We have 3 spherical objects. They're sort of like footballs, really. But you're not meant to play football with them. They are meant to drop. And when one drops, it's sort of, there's only 2 left. That's 2 minutes to the start. And then when the second one drops, it's 1 minute to the start. And then the start is given when the last ball drops. The scullers, they're supposed to be able to see that from their start position. And they look like little specks. I'm not sure how they could, is when these scullers will know it's time to head out from the beach towards the first turning buoy. So they go around that first turning buoy, and that's about 600-700 meters. And then there's a 1 kilometer stretch towards the east.
Pretty correct. 1K out to the first one.
Oh, right.
And then 750
oh, my
to
goodness.
the east.
Thank you. That's why you're here, to correct me on stuff like that. Okay, so 1K out. That's a long pull away from the beach, isn't it?
It is a long, long way out. The idea, that's kind of pretty standard in these coastal racing, where it's always a 1K leg out to the first turning point. It's just to allow a little bit of spreading out so that there's not too many collisions, because if there was a turning point 500 meters out, there'd be much more collisions. They want things to kind of spread out, and that's why it's so far away.
So I guess these athletes, they're going into the swell on that first leg, or the primary swell, because there is another swell coming here. I don't have, like Malcorio, the little app that tells me where the secondary swell is coming from, but I guess it's going to be easier going into a swell than going across it.
Exactly. After that first turning point, they're going to be across it for that 750 meters. So rowing with a side-on swell isn't the most comfortable. So rowing into the wind now and into the swell, you know, they're just going to be focusing on power right now out to that first turning point.
We're about 30 seconds away from the start, and the watchful scullers will have times that second ball dropping and probably try and jump the start. I think I'd try and do that.
Not wise to jump it.
Is it
or
not?
not be too eager. Yeah, so we're, as you can see, they're all lined up on the water. We're opting for a water start.
But basically, you know, a full start, like you can have another go, can't you? So, I mean, why not?
Because you will get a time penalty.
Oh, for if you full start?
Yeah, they'll just let you keep going and you get a 2-minute time penalty. And that is your race pretty much done and over.
Right, so that's an incentive, isn't it?
Yeah, to stay behind.
Here they go.
Yeah, so you can see some of the scullers had timed it right, and they were up to pretty high speeds already as they went through. So we have very much a clear leader. Anyone who's been following us along, we've had challenges trying to see numbers on boats and things like that. So we'll do our best with bringing you who is coming where. But right now, very early lead here.
Yeah, going really well through the swell.
1-2-1, Martin.
And that's from Dibby Rowing Club. It's Rosario Panicotta from Italia.
Italia, yeah, lovely start. It was interesting there on the start line. All the boats had like loads of space. They were all lined up one next to each other. Nobody was really hanging back, but he definitely got an advantage and kind of took off early.
Yeah, well, I feel he's got an advantage because he's a naval engineer. And he says one of his big challenges is actually trying to find time to train for events like this with his full-time professional career in Fincantieri.
Yeah, and he's lots of experience on the water as well. We saw him in the 22 World Rowing Coastal Championships. He rowed the mixed doubles and back in Hong Kong in 2019 as well. So he's represented his club at a few international events. Very early to kind of, he's settling really into a nice kind of steady stroke rate here. I think he's using that, you know, he's going straight into the wind, into the swell. So focusing on the big lean back and quite a slow, steady stroke.
I like that. I feel if I was doing this event, Neve, I would be doing the long lean back style because it really does push off the finish, off the back end.
It does. Yeah, because these boats are a bit heavier than the river shells, there's not as much of a run between each stroke. So...
and it's an Italian in second place as well. Boat 125. Italy 5, is that?
Italy 03, potentially.
Italy 03.
Luca Della Lise in that second position. But yes, lovely coastal style rowing here from Rosario Sebastiano Panteca. Opening up a big, big lead here now as he heads down towards the turn. He's probably about halfway down towards that first turning point. It's 1K of a lead. Looking over his shoulder. 1K of a leg rather than a lead. Looking over his shoulder. He's actually not doing too much looking around like we saw Chris back earlier, looking around every couple of strokes, whereas here, you know, just looking over his shoulder every so often.
Is it like you put a point on the land? So I don't know, like the grandstand here that you can see, and align your stern to that and think, if I keep my stern aligned with that, then I'm going to head for the first yellow turn buoy. So you might not need to look round. But obviously they can't do that when they go round that yellow buoy and start going parallel to the land.
Exactly, you're not looking at anything bar open water out there. But it is their second time around the course. They were around it this morning already in their heat, so they have a little bit of a better idea as to what angles they need to take. But yes, some beautiful rowing here from Italy.
Yeah, Panteca, I mean, he's a youngster really. He's just 38 years of age. Coming into his prime for coastal rowing, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be into the Masters category in another few years. But things are really spreading out, which I'm kind of surprised at this early point in a final. I know, like, once we get to the A-finals, it'll be much more, there'll be closer racing. Let's look at his time from earlier. I'm wondering, did he just miss out on a spot into the A-final?
Yeah, because you think he's that dominant that it must have been quite a small margin that saw him.
So we're seeing they're still heading out on that first outward leg, 1,000 meters. And they'll be coming up towards those turning markers. And now making their way across that second leg, that's 750 meters.
Yeah, and we're going to get some idea of the time that these scullers will take to get to that mark. It's kind of around the 5 minutes, as you can see. It is coming up soon.
So he was, yes, Italy 05, so Panteca. He finished 10th earlier on, so it was the top 9, made it to final A. So he finished 10th.
5:09 through that turn, first turn.
So he was just 6 seconds
Off
he
making
missed, an A final.
That's not a lot, is it?
Not a huge amount in these endurance races at all. So as they go across now, they're going to be up against that sideways swell that we mentioned, and In this, we talked about like the perfect racing or perfect rowing earlier that, you know, maybe flat waters love to be able to do. In this, like your hands are going to be at different heights all the time. You're just going to have to keep adjusting to make sure you have water on those blades.
And the sculler from the Kalakane Club, which I think is up, that's where the ancient city of Troy used to be, sort of in the north of Turkey. Turkey, up by the Dardanelles Straits. That's Karakolu, a 17-year-old, who has gone round this first buoy, at least, in third place. That's a long turn there, isn't it? That's that sculler. Was that... I can't say who.
140, I think so. Türkiye.
Oh, that was the Karakali Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, it did say that the Karakali Club on our times went through 5:23. So that was in third place. The times are correct, which is always a big thing. And I think you see from our camera there, it's shooting straight into the sun. So the aperture is probably at its narrowest, which makes spotting the big numbers even more challenging as we go round here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have data of the crews as they're going around the course. We only get the times at certain points as they pass certain turning points. So we're relying on our eyesight here and being able to see the numbers on the boats to figure out who's in the lead. So here we have the sideways swell. So we have a camera that looks like it's on a boat here. So you're seeing how much the boats are the rowing boats are disappearing and then reappearing. So that just goes to show how much of a swell there is out there. So tricky conditions.
Yeah, significant swell today after the storm, and the expectation here from people is that the swell will get less and less towards the weekend, so therefore more, I guess, amenable for the beach sprint rowers.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. So on their way down the 750-meter leg towards turning point 3, there is seven turning points throughout this 4-kilometer race. The majority of them are left-handers, 2 of them are right-handers. And of course, this is the rowers' second time out on this course. So unfortunately, there was no training available this week due to the conditions. A lot of these rowers are here since Sunday and didn't get a chance to get out on the course. So at least they're a little bit familiar compared to the ones who were out earlier. Now, I have a feeling, Martin, are we after losing our drone?
Yeah, I don't know if the drone is swimming now or if it's come back for a quick battery change. But yeah, we are on our boat list, and we think there are 2 Italians in the lead there, and a Turkish sculler from Kanikkale in third place. Karakorlu?
Yes. Lots of rowers in this B final who have raced before at the World and the European Coastal Championships. But we do have a flat water rower out there as well. Türkiye 04, that is Ibrahim Haki Kaniget, raced European under-23s last year. Lightweight rower. We were chatting about this earlier. There's quite a few lightweight rowers making their way over.
I did see that I was in Erdina for that championships. Great championships, the European under-23s. Hey, we got our drone back. And they are headed towards that long stretch to that buoy, and that's a great course for the Italian in the lead.
Yeah, beautiful course here. He navigated that pretty perfectly, particularly with the wind direction that is pushing them to shore as the swell is. So we spoke about the fiery gliding earlier as well, just angling the bow into the wind slightly so that it gets them onto a nice straight course. They're heading around now, turning point 3. They're going to be heading towards the shore now for 650 meters. I feel like they're taking that turn quite wide, actually.
Yeah, going wide in the sense of up towards the top of the screen. This sculler's not. It's going to be right on it.
Right
really
on it.
tight.
And yeah, they're keeping it tight, these 2 scullers.
Yeah, but the thing is, what can he do there? He's got caught up in the buoy. He's got to pull his blade in, and the other sculler's going to overtake him. So that's an example of how not to take a turn, presumably. It did look so good as he drifted, and then he couldn't use his port side blade, his stroke side blade.
Yeah, he really needed to put that handle right behind him to get the blade right up and alongside the boat.
Techniques there. So
yeah.
this is a great turn we
Yeah,
see
beautiful there.
from boat number 136. That is the Galatasaray sculler. Can he get?
And we have 104 there. That is Mark Chembry of Malta.
Oh, so Chembry's not doing so bad because he was quite a way back, I think, in the heat.
106 there, Croatia. Oh, Igor.
Igor Boroska.
He's out a third time today.
I know, third time on the course. Now, that's a big turn there from 103. Is that the Maltese sculler, Chembry?
Chembry's already gone around.
Oh, he's already gone around.
Yeah.
So who is in boat 103?
I don't think we have
the
that
number for that, no.
Yeah, but we're here seeing Rosario Panteca leading this one out still. Lovely lead. Been pretty much maintaining that all the way around the course. Second position, they're just going off our screen there now. I think it's still one of the Italian rowers.
It's interesting. There's kind of a bit of a pause at the back end, isn't it? I mean, there certainly is when he looks round.
Yeah, certainly. So he's with the wind now, so the wind is giving him a little bit of a push. So he's trying to allow the boat to have that little bit of an extra run, get that help from the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so much more effective, isn't it, when you can just look behind, look at the sculler behind, as opposed to look round at the buoy in front of you. But, of course, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, boat 125 behind us is, again, the second Italian boat, who is from the Lazio club.
Yes, indeed. Luca Dell'Elise is currently sitting in that second position.
There's the first sculler. Oh, no, there's the second sculler. Yeah, so...
that was fourth position.
That was fourth position.
Just gone off our screen there now. So they're now heading across the course, or coming down towards that turning point 4. And they'll be making a left-hand turn and going parallel to the beach.
Well, they have been making it. So the first scullers, the two Italians around there, around that buoy, and going parallel. Our drone is kind of catching them up. So Luca Dell'Elise won from the Lazio club, won the veteran or the Masters Sculler of the Year in Italy, quite recently actually. And made his first Coastal Rowing Championships in Portugal, but he's great with the team, he's great with his supporters, and he's happy to share in the spoils of racing with everybody, which is why people love him. That's Luca Dell'Elise in second place, and he is 54 years young.
Yeah, it's incredible to see the age ranges that we're seeing here at these championships, particularly because we have the addition of some masters racing within the quads. So we have people well into their 60s racing up against the 15, 16-year-olds we were seeing earlier on. So Italy,
So they must know each other's speeds, Neve, these two scullers. You know, I'm thinking that it's going to be a canny race. I mean, he's got Dell'Elise behind him, the first Italian sculler, Panteca, and there's got to be a certain knowledge that he's probably got what it takes to stay in front of him.
Yeah, at this stage, you know, he has enough space, but we saw it earlier in the quad racing, you know, things were between the Irish and the Germans, and, you know, it came right down to the wire at the beach, even though there was a bit of a space in between them out on the course here. But, you know, the surf that we're seeing here today really can make such a big difference and give crews a big advantage. Finish is really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that pause.
It's a slight pause. To me, he just, we had a bit the last 10 strokes, he's really pushed it out at the finish, Panteca. So he's really accelerated his blades sort of from the 90-degree angle through the back end. I don't know whether he just wanted to get a little bit of distance between him and his compatriot Dell'Elise there.
Yeah. The big long leg here now, 1 kilometer is before they come into the chicane. They'll be coming into our view here now. We're situated on the beach right next to the finish line. And they're going to be on their way into our view shortly.
Yeah, so this is the race for places 19, 20, and so on and so forth. Down to, I'm not sure quite how many, there are 14 entered, but I think there's been a couple of withdrawals. So Panteca is going for place 19 overall. Not what he came for, I would guess, but been very tight competition in this club men's singles.
Absolutely, yeah. We started off with 32 entries earlier on. You know, we got the fastest 18 into the final A. That'll be on tomorrow. And of course, we're going to see 6K racing tomorrow. Into the A finals.
Yeah, is there a reason why it's longer in the A finals than it is for the heats? Because 4K seems quite long as I sort of sit here commentate on it.
It is. What are you trying to say, Martin?
I'm saying, why don't they do 4K for the finals? Is that
Yeah.
just like tradition?
It is tradition, yeah. It's always been done that they add a surprise. It's not a surprise. They add a 2K onto the A finals. It certainly makes it more challenging. You know, you're going to be rowing out there for an extra 10 minutes or so. The course obviously becomes different. Those legs become much longer, and it can add a lot of challenge to navigation skills because they don't have a chance to go try out that 6K course.
So all added to the jeopardy there.
So
Now he's just trying to pull round Panteca there, I think. Maybe a little bit. I just wondered if the boat was snaking, but I think it was his adjustment of the steering.
yeah, here we have, starting to come in towards, he can see the chicane within his view. You can see the top left-hand side of your screen, you're seeing the little yellow finger buoys. They are markers, they are for the beach sprints. So there's actually lots of boats out there on that beach sprint course training right now. We'll have the beach sprints coming up on Saturday and Sunday. And actually, I think those yellow markers were throwing people off earlier in the heats because they were looking around and seeing them and thought that was where the finish line was.
Yeah, so there's training going on in front of us, and I guess you described them correctly as finger buoys, as opposed to the more substantial sort of, like they're kind of like pilot buoys that you would see on a boat. There he sees it. He kind of was not quite expecting it almost.
Yeah, he kept his speed up. He wasn't trying to slow down. He was trying to go in there as fast as he could. So much tighter turn from him, but then right behind him.
Delisa, isn't it?
Yeah, he took a nice wide turn, didn't have to drop speed at all. He just kept rowing pretty much right around it. It's a nice little battle there between the two of them. So that's the first of the 3 chicane markers. So 100 meters between this and the next one. The next one, that was a right-hand turn. There'll be a left-hand turn, followed by another right-hand turn, and then they're straight into the beach. Hard to know what's happening behind them, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think there's a long gap behind these 2 Italians. It was the Turkia sculler from Canicale that we saw certainly on the GPS graphic, but we haven't had a look to confirm who is in 3rd place. Even I can see the scullers racing each other as they go into the chicane, which is kind of about 300 or 400 meters out from us. So there's sculler 140, that's Karakoglu from the Canicale Club in North Turkey, up by the Gallipoli Straits.
So final turning marker straight out from us here, and that first sculler, Panteca, is around, so he'll be making his way on that straight leg back to the beach, although it hasn't been straight for many people today. They've been taken off course, and actually there's quite a bit of swell out, like he's just going to kind of come up to it there now. There's quite big waves out, quite a bit out.
Is Della Isa closing on him, or is he not made the turn as well? I'm just looking, you know, from the naked eye.
Yeah, Panteka there is on top of a wave. Let's see if he gets thrown. He is being pushed down.
Oh, wow, he
Yeah.
surfed that wave.
He surfed, but it kind of went out of his control a little bit. So now he's going to have to go hard on his left side to try and come straight back to the beach, because he's actually going into the training place of the beach sprinters.
So we're commentating on, you know, you can see the scullers going around the buoy, but here is the leading sculler, and there's about to be maybe a collision between the training scullers
Yes.
and those competing for the beach sprint, and there's an announcer there saying, "What are you doing?" And he's put his hand up, there's an objection there, and meanwhile Della Isa is coming past him. Is his blade broken?
His blade is broken and he's going to swim. And this is actually something that they're told not to do. Do not abandon your boat. Do not swim in, particularly from that far out. Because he's and there's a jet ski just gone up right up alongside him, and someone has dove in to the water to collect that boat.
The boat.
Yeah, but Della Elise, it has allowed him to get in the position, but this isn't what we want to see. We don't want to see the rowers, you know, they're actually told yesterday at the crew captains meeting not to do this.
I mean, I'm just saying, but that course seems a bit close to the racing line, and
particularly with the waves, because they are being pushed onto it.
Yeah, so Della East is now coming up to take the finish. The veteran crosses the line from Lazio. And we still have a swimmer in the water. How is he doing? Is he gonna...
He's getting there. It's taking him a while. We actually have two swimmers, because there's one with the boat as well. The boat that it's... There's a swimmer trying to stay with the boat.
So he's swimming quite well, actually. I want to say he's got a little good technique going there. He's not got his head buried.
He could kick the legs a bit more.
He could kick the legs a bit more. I mean, we didn't imagine to be commentating on swimming, but excitement abounds here.
He's turned it into a triathlon, hasn't he?
He has. That's a great shout.
Swimming, rowing, running.
So Rosario Panteka, the 38-year-old Italian, or sorry, I've given him 2 more years, he's 36-year-old. The naval engineer is coming into the shore. Meanwhile, one of the other scullers, I think the Turkish sculler from Kanakkale, might be grabbing the 20th place off him. It's going to be close between the two of them. Here comes the Italian after that swim, and he's probably going to get 21st place.
Here he comes. That was a big swim
and a
big
sprint. And the Turkish sculler, he's getting there 21st. Oh, and he's furious.
He is furious.
He's furious. He wanted that 19th place.
Yeah, he was leading by a lot, you know. I think he expected there to take the win. That was unfortunate.
To be quite honest, I'd give him the win, because it wasn't his fault.
Absolutely
the
not.
Italian.
Absolutely not.
Hands out.
Yeah.
Cap front back. I mean, we can see the pictures of him. Shirts coming off. I mean, if he was a footballer, he'd throw it into the crowd, wouldn't he?
He would. He would. Yeah, he is furious. I'm sure that will be looked at, because that was not his fault. You know, his boat was caught by a wave. He was pushed. But it's too close, as you said. The training course.
The training course is too close to the racing
yeah.
course. And, yeah, I don't know why, but that's as it seemed to my untrained eye. So boat number 108 there, or 138, I think that might be, or 101. Room 101.
Room 101, Till Anderson.
That is Till Anderson.
This is his 3rd race of the day.
Yeah.
And look, just see how much they're being just thrown sideways here. You really need to practice in these conditions to learn how to kind of navigate through this. Because while it looks like the waves will push you straight, they absolutely do not. They will throw your boat sideways very easily. So yes, Till Anderson, Croatia 02, 3rd race of the day, walking over that finish line. Here we have Igor Boruska. Both of these race together in the men's double. Coming in one after the other. We have Malta, Mark Shimbri.
Yeah. He's got a lot of tats, Mark Shimbri, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's been over to Ireland the last few years racing in this. We have this big ocean race, Ocean to City.
Is that where, yeah, I read about him doing that.
Yeah.
And the long distance endurance race.
28 kilometers.
Yeah.
I've done it in the solo.
And did you
Good
think
fun.
he visited at a two-parlour in Ireland, or they're actually Maltese homegrown tattoos?
I'm not sure. We'll have to ask. So yeah, I'd say training has been kind of pushed over off the course, or the beach burn training is being pushed over.
Oh,
just to make
someone's
sure everyone's-
swimming out of their
Ah,
boat there. Who is that swimming out of their boat? I can't see what number it is, but we'll try and pick it up.
We do have a capsize out at that last,
Ah, well
out at the
spotted.
last turning point.
Jet ski is hurrying there to get the sculler. Well, here's the man who was swimming.
There's a lot of
Looks
swimmers.
like boat 112. So boat 112 is
Christopher
Chris
Barton.
Barton, and he's just wandering up to the beach, and they're directing him.
With his Achilles tendon,
Achilles
isn't it?
tendon.
Yeah.
And there's one of the German scullers there coming in. I think it's the Hamburg sculler, Johannes Welsh, who is, there he is, running up to the finish line. And Chris Barton will be coming into shot just shortly. There he is.
Only back rowing with a few months after a big surgery. We always see him in the men's quad. It's the first time in the solo. But yeah, there was a capsize that we missed. We weren't getting the shots of it, so I'm not sure who it was. It was around that final kind of chicane turning point. So it's interesting because conditions don't seem to have changed like a huge amount yet. Like there was a lot of carnage happened there
No,
in the last
and
few
the
minutes.
thing was, what's interesting to me is scullers training, the onus is on them to be out of the racing line. They must know about the possibility. So I think the awareness shown by those crews warming up needs to be significantly higher because they interfered with one of the racing athletes.
Absolutely.
So there ought to be some jeopardy for people on the warm-up course, like you get a full start or I don't know, something to incentivise them to keep a lookout. If that's the distance that the sort of practice course and the racing course are going to have between them, which actually, how many metres would you say the difference is? I'd say between the two courses there's about 10 metres.
Yeah, if
maybe
you look at where the
20.
last turning point of the endurance course is, there's not much space between them at all. The waves, maybe they're breaking a little bit higher now compared to earlier as well, so conditions have changed slightly. And actually the person who had capsized is now back in their boat.
Oh.
They're back in their boat, and let's see who they are, because they're making their final approach now. They're on top of a wave. The final sprint for them. Yeah, the waves definitely, like there's waves breaking out at that final turning point, which is about 350 meters off the shoreline. So they seem to be breaking a bit further out and creating just a bit more of a challenge.
So we are looking at the B final competitors for the Coastal Women's Club Coastal Women's Quad.
Yes, B final. Just 3 boats in this B final. We had 21 entries starting off earlier today. It was the top 9 in both heats went through, and so these are the 3 in the B final. We have Türkiye 03, 04, and 07. So loads of space on the starting line for these 3 boats. You'd be hoping that there won't be any collisions, any crashes.
I guess this is unusual, actually. So boat 422, Türkiye 04. And boat 433, can't see which boat that is. But one of the Turkish crews.
Do we only have 2 crews?
Ah, I could only see 2 crews out there.
So Martin, we have our final men's coastal solo coming in. He's just on a wave here now. Hopefully it won't push him sideways. He'll be rounding off the final B of the men's club solo. He was the guy who capsized out there. So fair play, he got back in and he's making his way.
So Türkiye 7 is not racing, so this is a head-to-head race between Türkiye 4 and Türkiye 3.
And off they go. The final ball has been dropped. The Hooter is gone.
So Türkiye
And
4
off they go.
are the Masters crew. So one of the Masters crews, well, you can hear the applause maybe through our microphones. The final sculler here. The men's Club Coastal B final.
One of the Turkish rowers. It's great to see so many entries from Turkey. A lot of them new to rowing, but here they are giving it a go on their home waters. Martin, this is a beautiful shot, side by side.
Yeah, I think they ought to have a pact. We'll row side by side till we get to the chicane.
Yeah.
And then we'll open it out.
So I think it's 4-2-2, which will be Türkiye 04. They're just slightly on the lead. They're the closest to us here now as you look
Yeah, they're
the camera.
yeah, they're the youngsters, Türkiye. Oh no, they're the veterans, Türkiye 4 actually. So they're the masters. So Funda Muftoglu is up in the bow seat, 49 years of age. One of the oldest competitors, Buklau Akpinar, is 66 in the 2 seat. You can see her really throwing her body back there. And then it's Ebru Kuchuk in the 3 seat. Ellie Pack in the stroke seat, the youngest, 46, well, not the youngest, Define Pack, and I wonder if these two are related. It may well be that's her daughter in the Cox's seat. What do you reckon?
Could absolutely be her daughter for sure. Really, so these two crews, they were in separate heats earlier. So there's over 4 minutes of a time difference between their times. So
4 minutes?
4 minutes, yes.
Wow.
But this crew that we're seeing here of boat 422, Türkiye 04, they were actually 4 minutes slower than the other crew, yet they're in the lead here now. But 2 separate heats, 2 different conditions.
Yeah, okay.
So we can't really compare them.
Yeah, well, that's a stark demonstration of why you can't perhaps compare times.
It's probably more predictable in classic rowing,
Yeah.
I guess.
So I kind of want to say the crew behind is slightly more synced up, a little bit. Maybe not.
Slight timing issues.
Yeah, stroke and 3.
Yeah.
So that's Türkiye 3, the crew that is behind. So that's Nigun Kilic and Sinem Oza in the stern of the Bursa Kurek boat.
Again, a lot of these rowers are quite new to it, you know, and they're new to this style of rowing. They're new to rowing in general. To be able to compete at a European level, it's a club level, but it's still European Championships. You know, incredible experience to be able to do this.
Yeah, under competition. I think the Masters boat has kind of just not really sort of moved away much in the last minute or so. I don't know if the women from Türkiye 3, the Bursa boat, have kind of stabilised the position.
A little bit, I think, yeah. We're seeing a slight bit of timing as well in this crew that we're seeing. Türkiye 03, or Türkiye 04, sorry, are the ones in the lead here. Timing maybe just slightly off here, but they're holding on to that lead. So they're still on that outward leg. 1,000 meters, the first turning marker.
And the Coastal men's singles went round it in about 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So it'd be quite interesting, I guess, just to compare the speed of a Coastal women's quad in the B final with the Coastal men's single. I would have thought they'd be quite comparable, actually.
We'll soon see. They should be starting to approach it now. The one advantage of being in a 2-boat race is that the Coxes have so much space and can take the most direct course around this 4K course, because sometimes when there's 19 other boats, you know, sometimes tomorrow we're going to see 20 boats in some of the finals. It's going to be a lot different out there. There'll be very little space.
Yeah, we're looking at the blonde hair of Gulan Doglin there. Just the camera went off, but there's a great drone shot. You can see the bows diving into that swell. And there's the back of Delphine Pack, the 17-year-old cox. We think she's coxing her mum, who's in the stroke seat. I don't know whether she's telling her daughter that is her daughter. To do this, you need to say that.
There seems to be a bit of communication between Bao and Cox, I think. Yeah, Bao is keeping an eye on the navigation, I think. So they're around that first turning point. So now that they have a nice 750-meter leg across the swell, so the bow won't be up as much in the air this time, but the boat is going to be moving up and down, side to side, more so. So really important in this kind of side-on racing that you're patient and you feel the water on the blades before you give that leg drive. So because one oar could be in the air and one could be in the water.
These women are slower than the coastal men's singles.
Interesting.
Panetta was it, who went round that turn first, about 5:18.
So yeah, what we're seeing there is that's the turn there of the. There's basically two turns very close to each other out there after that first 1K leg. There's about 100 meters separating those two markers. And again, tomorrow when we're seeing lots of crews together, those two marker boys, they're so close together just to allow crews to kind of separate out a little bit.
Well, I guess Dogan there, the cox, I guess she could have come a little bit more wide and then kind of made the turn a bit earlier.
Yeah, and we're seeing actually two very different styles of navigation here. So I'm wondering, did the leaders actually make a slight mistake? And because they're heading very much inland, where both of the crews now we'll see the difference of them. There's quite a gap between them.
Massive gap.
Massive gap,
there's
a lot of space.
over there.
It did look like the leaders took a very sharp turn and overturned. So I think she might have been heading a bit too far inland towards the beach.
Ah, the 17-year-old.
Yeah, because she kind of, it went they'd overturned slightly, it looked like.
That's a great spot, Neve, I think. So what it looks like here is that the crews are now far more level.
Yeah.
And there's Dogan looking across.
Yeah, she's trying to make sure that she's going right. There's always a case because you're going to trust the leader somewhat.
Yeah.
And then if you start to question their place, then you're going to start questioning your place, and then it can be quite disorienting. But she is very much right, I think, from our angle here. And she just needs to be confident in her approach now. Because you can see 422, you can see Türkiye 04 starting to move back out towards them.
Well, complete change in positions there because of the course. So Dogan is far more experienced. I mean, certainly 50 years of age. So I guess that potentially could make her more experienced. But the rowers here wearing gloves, how common is that? Three of this crew.
Yeah.
It's only the three women in the boat. Sinem Oza, who's just using her hands to grip the blades.
What I'll say is over the years, I always kind of opted for gloves as much as I could.
A little bit of a shipwreck there.
Shipwreck, Titanic?
A shipwreck Titanic, absolutely.
Are you going to
she lost a blade.
She is, oh no, and this is, if they're not careful, this is going to cause a big collision.
So what's happening here? And can she take her blade in? So it's gone right round.
Right round.
That is unforeseen. And that completely stopped the boat. And the veterans, the masters crew, has got back in the lead.
After adding so many meters to themselves on that leg.
What's the course happening now? So they've now steered to avoid each other, and they kind of had to put on a turn towards starboard.
Yeah.
To get back on the course for the boy. And 433 have now retaken the lead from the masters.
Who knew that a two-boat race was going to be
so fascinating. Between two crews from Türkiye, and obviously there is more excitement. Don't go anywhere because who knows what's going to happen in this race.
So Martin, you were asking about the gloves. So what could have happened there, I didn't see exactly, but if your hands get so wet in this rowing that they become so slippy, and the handle can literally just slip out of your hand and you can lose the oar very quickly. So the gloves can kind of prevent that a little bit, hence
So-
why so many people use them.
Is it worth the crew on the insides sort of 4-2-2 sprinting to get an inside line on the buoy, or is that sort of wasteful effort?
They're going to very easily going to be involved in a collision, I do think, at this turning marker, if they're not careful, because they're very close to each other. So 4-3-3 obviously has the outside line as the angle they're going to be coming into this marker. They'll have the outside line, but they're going to want to cut in nice and sharp so that they can get straight in towards turning point 4.
And they're entitled to do that.
And now 4-2 have realised what's going to happen, so they're actually moving outside them.
Yeah.
So they're completely going wide here, potentially way too wide. So you'll see them coming in here. So that's a lovely line here from 4-3-3, 4-2-2 went nice and wide, avoiding a collision, but potentially too wide.
So I'd be the sort of person who would be disqualified in this because I would have gone for an inside line and collision be damned almost. But
Would you?
well, I would. Yeah, I'd kind of take my chances.
You'd definitely get disqualified in your first race.
Yeah. Well, that's live and learn, isn't it? Because I don't know the best tactics. So.
No, you're right. The inside line, absolutely. You want to be able to cut in.
But what she's done, she was much closer there.
Yeah, she's
Delphine Pack. And by that sort of move to starboard and then sort of move to port around the buoy, just lost a couple of lengths.
I'd be interested to see their distance, how long they've actually rowed for when they finish, because the course is 4K. But they've added quite a few meters onto themselves on the different legs. It'll be interesting to see how many meters they actually do.
Yeah, so we're looking at the leaders in this fairly incident-filled B final of the Women's Club Coastal Quads.
We still have the most exciting part of the race to come, the beach finishes.
Well, who knows what's going to happen there? So it's the Masters crew who had led off early on, but through a various series of mishaps, which obviously the leading crew kind of had slightly less mishaps, I guess. Positions have changed.
Yeah.
And it's now Turkiye 3. Turkiye 4, sorry.
Yeah, we're seeing second place Turkiye 3 here, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're on that leg that's coming straight into shore. This is 650 meters. So they have the wind to their backs. So you're getting a nice bit of help on this leg.
Yeah, which must feel really welcome
Yeah.
after battling through the swell and the wind.
But they're going to face into that now shortly again once they go around the next turning point. They'll have 1,000 meters of a side swell to come. But actually, the kind of technique is getting, they're cleaning up timing and things like that as the race goes on. They're becoming more smooth, working together.
Yeah, definitely the timing's got sweeter, hasn't it, between stroke and 3. To me, that looks like a race-winning distance at the moment, barring accidents that we've seen plenty of so far. Well, there's more accidents going on in that. What's happening with the crew in front? There was kind of like a loss in cohesion between stroke and 3 of the Turkish crew.
Yeah, you can see like their bow is very much going right to left here. As they go around that marker 4. Nice having a cox with you because you don't necessarily have to stop rowing or have to go backing. You can just keep rowing.
It's a long way around that marker,
It is.
though. It's
It
a
is.
long way to landward of that marker. This crew are cutting it much more fine.
Yeah.
So they will have got they would have gained some meters on their opposition.
They certainly have there, yeah, after that turn. So it is the crew.
Could it be game on?
Game on, yeah, they've 1,000 meters here now, where they can put on a bit of the power, start to close that gap, and then we have the exciting chicanes and beach finish to come. But yeah, so they have the side swell here now again, so it does make, that's probably the worst racing, or the worst conditions to be in is that side swell. It's not severe today by any means. I've certainly seen it worse at different championships over the years, but it creates kind of messy blade work. There's a lot of looking around by all members of the crew here. I feel like they need to trust their cocks a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Thing is, have you ever been coxed by a coxswain who essentially tells you lies about the position to motivate you? Yeah, we're gaining on them, and then you don't see them, you don't see the puddles.
So you do your own looking around, yeah.
I mean, the idea is you focus in your boat and you focus on what you can control.
Absolutely.
And the looking round doesn't really give you too much, except for some of those externally motivated people at least. Possibly they might do a few harder strokes.
I think particularly in the quad, like you can put your trust in the cocks and just focus on your game plan. Look ahead. Every time you turn your head, you're slowing things a little bit. You're not in the best body position.
I feel the turns are the best hope for the second place crew behind.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not an impossible distance behind. There isn't any jeopardy.
I think you're right. Yeah, that second place crew, much better at the turns, much tighter, and particularly in the last few turns. Maybe a bit wide at the start. So they're coming up towards that turning point 5, the first of the chicane. So it's all been left-hand turns up to this point. Turning point 5, the first of the chicane will be a right-hand turn. I'm sure a lot of these crews have been practicing these courses in the lead up to this. Getting used to, 5 or 4 left-hand turns, then a right-hand turn.
So it looks pretty much like 4-3-3 there is kind of spent a little bit. So there's no noticeable upping of the rate or sprint as they come closer to that chicane buoy. Maybe they're just biding their time and going to do a really sneaky turn. Grab a length or two, and that'll put them in a position to challenge on the sprint into the beach.
A great shout. Yeah, Türkiye 03. So these two boats, they're going for rankings 19 and 20 overall in the women's quad, but of course there's separate rankings for the masters categories. So there's, I think, 7 total masters in the women's boxed quad. So 4-2-2, even though they're behind and will get an overall ranking of maybe 20, particularly if they finish in this position, but they'll get a masters ranking of 7th in Europe.
Well,
that sounds better than 20th, I think.
Yeah, it does. Top 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, loving that.
And of course, we'll have separate medals as well for the masters categories as well, which is great. There's so many masters rowers in the club coastals, the endurance over the years. So it's great to see those separate categories starting to come in.
And if you look on the land there, you can see the hotels on the shore that some of the teams are staying at. I think the Netherlands team got in early and got that hotel on the left, which is the closest hotel to the course facilities. I think the British team, they got a nice hotel just along from the Netherlands. And I'm told the way they booked it was to basically book a package tour flight and package tour holiday, because that was the cheapest way of doing it. So obviously Antalya is a place where lots of package tours go.
Yeah, a huge amount of resort hotels on this beach if you walk along down either end. So many resort hotels. And I think it's important for the crews to be staying pretty close, because everything, in the sunshine, walking on the beach, all that takes it out of you. So you want to be staying nice and close so that you can just come for your race, head back, rest up, so you're not having to walk miles and miles every day. So yeah, this is crew 433. That is Türkiye 03. Leading this one out. It was quite close there for different parts of the race, but they've been holding on to a nice steady lead now for quite a while. So they're coming into our view now, Martin. They're just coming up towards that first chicane marker. So this is their first right-hand turn of the course. So they're going to go on the ocean side of around that buoy. Now, I call them buoys. Do you call them buoys or buoys?
No, American people call them buoys, but
Yeah.
I've just spoken to a few American people this year, so I've got buoys in my head. I call them buoys. Yeah.
And now second position, that Masters crew going around. Quite wide.
Quite wide, so they're not going to get much time in that place. The safety boat you can see there.
Yeah, because they were very good on that last turn.
They
Stayed
were
very close to the marker, whereas they're very wide now on that one. So they're now coming in towards the second marker of the chicane. So they just have about 100 meters to go in between these two. So they're back to a left-hand turn after this.
And I still think there's jeopardy from boats that are out training. Like I can see one
Yeah.
coastal mixed double or whatever that are just like, what are you doing there? You're in the racing lane.
Absolutely. They actually are. Yeah, very much so. And again, there's big breakers out there near enough to those chicane buoys. Like if you're on the beach sprint course, it's at the point where you would be doing your turn to come back to shore. There's breakers out that far. Earlier on, they were just at the shore, whereas they're very much further out now.
So I think one way of coping with the closeness of the people trading is for one of the marshals to be in a launch and just basically stop the singles and doubles. Just tell them to sit still until the race is finished and then allow training to carry on.
There's definitely a couple of jet skis, kind of, they're sticking
Yeah,
to that
yeah,
outside
yeah.
line a little bit more this time, just to make sure that they don't come onto you wouldn't want a quad coming into you if you were in a solo boat.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so that first crew now are around that, or just going around that final marker, taking their time going around it.
My goodness, that is a massive distance away from the marker.
And now they've overturned and are heading for the beach sprint. If they had stayed wide and just angled straight into the beach.
Yeah, so the Cox is on the rudder now, isn't she?
Yeah, but if a wave
blue
catches
line.
you, you're still not in full control, even with the rudder.
And the Masters crew with Define and Elif Pack in the stern of the boat, the Cox and the stroke, have made up a bit of time there. They're not going to trouble the leaders on this sprint in unless something drastic happens.
Yeah, we have a few waves coming up here now, so it could either help them or hinder them here. That Masters crew now just up on top of one and just being pushed sideways. They're gone sideways. They are heading totally off course. Well, actually, it's putting them probably in a better position.
And
but they're completely out of control now.
What's interesting is the Cox with the rudder can do nothing with the power of the waves.
No.
It gives you a sense there of what is important here, and it is the power of the sea that dominates here.
Same thing is going to happen. The leaders here potentially, they're kind of heading sideways, but can they control it? They can just about. They're controlling it nicely. Bow person is getting up, ready to go.
Berner Altpermak.
That is tough landing.
Oh, she's being very cautious there.
Here she is.
And she's running up towards us.
Türkiye 03.
Altpermak, I think.
Coming in to take the win in the B final.
They love their jumps across the line, don't they?
Yeah, it makes for a good photo, Martin.
The boat, the boat handlers have got their boat off, and there's a surf in of boat 422, and we will see Funda Muftoglu bow of that boat running to make sure that her crew records a finish position in this race. Here she comes, up out of the boat. A lot of boat handlers to be navigated. Oh my goodness, jelly legs there.
I told you about these jelly legs.
And
They're a real
Muftoglu,
thing.
yeah, she is really, I don't know if it's the strapping on her knee, but that was something to behold, actually. I was kind of thinking, oh, I wouldn't have jelly legs, but having seen that lady there, Muftoglu, she really did struggle in the middle of that beach sprint.
Yeah, so like you're racing, your legs are going for 16 minutes in that rowing position. You get out and try to run. You nearly have to talk to your legs to, come on, let's go, let's run.
So we can give you confirmation of the result, because we're pretty sure what it is, that Turkey 3, boat 433, with Altıparmak, Türkan, Oza, Kilic, and Cox Dogan, they were the winners of that race, and Muftoglu, Pinar, Kuchik, Elif Pak and Defin Pak, boat 422, were in second place in that B final.
Yes, B final. So we have one more final beat to go, just under 4 minutes. And it is the Coastal Club men's double sculls. We have 7 crews taking part. We have Turkey 05, Turkey 07, Finland 01, Germany 03, Turkey 06, Turkey 03, and Germany 02. So we can see the starting balls are just being raised into the air. That is 3 balls. Actually, one is quite stuck, I think. 3 balls are heading up to let the rowers know that there is 3 minutes to go to the start line. So not only is there the starting boys, but there is also, or starting balls, there's also the hooter out on the water that they can hear. So there'll be 3 hoots to let them know that there's 3 minutes to go. Most of them will have some sort of timing device with them that they'll start on the 3 minutes so that they know exactly when the start is going to come.
So I think we have 4 boats here. I've got 4 numbers. So boat 207 here is the second German crew from the Flensburg Club. And boat 203 over there is the third German crew from the Neusser Club, Holman and Mum. And then the other 2 boats that I have here are Turkey 3, boat 239, and Turkey 5, boat 225. So Turkey 5 is one to the third boat across, and I guess that's going to be boat 239 furthest away.
So 3 boats after pulling out, seems like?
Yeah. How do you explain that?
Well, I guess if they're doubling up in other races, you know, they're going to want to conserve energy, or maybe, you know, a lot of these rowers are new to it, and maybe they just, today the heat was enough for them. That was the experience they wanted. Potentially injuries.
I mean, it looks very pleasant out there, just, you know, drifting up and down on the swell. Caps on, you know.
Yeah.
Factor 50.
Nice
smeared
place
all
to
over
be.
your body. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So 1 minute to go with 2 balls after dropping.
So a race between the 2 Germans here as one of the excitements. Mayer and Koch going up against, from Flensburg, going up against Holman and Mum from Neusser. And there's just 1 ball to go down. Start is imminent.
Yeah, they're kind of just sitting off that start line. Again, you have to be behind it, so that you don't get a time penalty to start. So all crews are lined up pretty much side by side here. Beautiful shot here of the 4 boats. So if they've had timers in their boats, they're going to know that maybe there's like 20 seconds or 10 seconds left. So you'll see them starting to go here now, and by the time the hooter goes, they'll be passing that start line. So 4 boats off here in final B of the Club Coastal's men's double sculls. Boat 207, that is Germany. O2 closest to us here on screen.
Yeah, so boat 207 is from Flensburg, so they are right up near Denmark. If you know Germany, the port of Kiel, which used to be a big naval port for Germany, I guess it might still be. So these guys used to rowing on the Baltic Sea. Meyer on the right, well, he's just looking round there. Nicholas Meyer and Gunnar Koch in the stroke seats. From that club up there on the Baltic, and the two men from Neusser, boat 203, that are just half a length behind them. I think Neusser is somewhere near Cologne in the west of Germany, but it's essentially a Turkish crew, Güneş and Yilmaz, that are just pointing into the lead at the moment.
Yeah, they have a lovely technique going, very long strokes here now, and it's serving them well. They're up against the wind on this first 1K leg, so keeping the blades in the water for as long as they can. There's not too much of a run off these coastal boats because they're that little bit heavier than the river shallows, so they're going for those big, long, steady, strong strokes. But the other Turkish crew outside of them,
yeah, so that's
are seeming to put on, looking like they're putting on a bit of a push.
Yeah, with the green boats.
Yeah.
Gilles and Ertan.
I would say that's Bloomer.
Ah, okay.
I don't know, is it?
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah. I think it's maybe I'm confused by the kind of green of the sea. Turquoise blue. So the Turks are having a battle now, Royale. So Güneş and Yilmaz there, the boat on the top right of your screen, have just got their bows in front. The athletes from Flensburg have pushed away from their rivals.
We have 225, Türkiye 05. They're the ones closest to us. I think we might have a wrong boat number.
We have got a wrong boat
228,
number.
that is Türkiye. And one of them has no Toblerone, so it's even harder
Yeah,
to
well,
identify.
we've got 225. That's Güneş and Yilmaz. So we just want to look at the Toblerone of boat 228.
It does look to be the two Turkish crews leading this one out ahead of the two Germans. In that German boat, though, Philipp Hallmann, lightweight indoor rower, and then Sebastian Moman, the stroke seat. Been in the coastal and indoor scenes as well, quite a bit. They're getting quite close here as they head towards turning point 1. Two of these crews, one without a Toblerone, one with it, but we cannot see who it is. Nice battle happening between the two.
Yeah, we've just phoned a friend to ask which Turkish crew is 228. And it is a fantastic race. I think one of the best races we've seen all day, actually, between these two Turkiye crews in the B final of the men's club coastal doubles.
Absolutely. They're going for rankings 19 and 20 here. So it's always nice, you know, when you get to a B final, there's going to be a level of disappointment, but also then you want to have a good race. You want to finish the championships having a nice race. So there's some good battling happening, one getting ahead of the other, then the other one going. So yes, boat 228. Definitely a Turkish crew, but we're just not sure which one.
Yeah, and hopefully we will be shortly.
Potentially 03 if they're in it, because there is no boat 239 out there, and that's the number we have. But let's just wait for confirmation.
Well, we have been calling them as Kizildas and Ertan.
But they may not be, so we'll see. But yeah, they have a nice lead now going to turning point 1. I think they put on a bit of pressure here now just to get themselves ahead. It's always nice to be ahead. And you can see the two, like turning point 1 and turning point 2, there's only 100 meters between them. But it's good to be in that position in the lead, because now you're looking back on your competitors and you can see when they're going to make a push and you can respond. So being in that lead position is where you want to be.
I'll tell you what will be frustrating, and I think that is the Flensburg crew ahead of the Neusser crew. And
So we're just getting confirmation of the boat numbers if you're wondering what is happening. But yes, 2 Turkish crews here battling out. They're going around that second turning point. So now they're heading across that 750 meters.
Right, so we've been calling the names wrong. This is the Turkish crew '06, and it's Bozkurt and Kovan who are in the lead. Our helper has just come back with the correct boat number, which we didn't have.
And so 203, so Germany 02 are in that 3rd position, followed by Germany 03 in 4th position now.
Oh, so Neusser have got ahead of, so I guess the club that might row on the Rhine have got ahead of the club that might row on the North Sea. Oh no, Flensburg, it says Flensburg. So they are the North German club, and Neusser is the Central German club. A nice little race going on between the 2 Germans and the 2 boats from Turkey.
There is indeed. So they're heading across that sideways swell here now, which is where things can get messy. You can see their left-hand oars are very much in that 225 boat, Turkey 05. Their left-hand oars are digging very much. I'm not sure if that's to do with the conditions. It looks to be because it's just their blades on the right-hand side going in.
Yeah, do you want to explain digging?
Yeah, so it means that's the part of, so the blade is the white part, the shaft is the black part of the oar. So a lot of the shaft is in the water, which we really don't want to see. But that happens when there is a sideways swell, because the boat is on its side essentially. So one side is going to be down, and part of that shaft is going to be in the water.
They look quite racy, those guys there, don't they?
They do. They look strong.
Yeah, they do look strong.
Yeah.
Nice sort of loose, straight arms. I guess you can't have tense arms when you're on the ocean because you get stuffed at a 4K race.
You will get stuffed. It happened to me in Wales in 2022 in Saundersfoot, where my forearms gave up and I capsized twice within my heat, all because I was just using that upper body a bit too much. I wasn't relaxed. The conditions were very tough. So I've been there. It's painful. So staying loose and relaxed is an important part of this racing.
So we're looking at Turkey 5 there, boat number 228. Bey Güneş and Recep Ilmaz. Both these lads are 24 years of age.
Yeah, they seem to be maintaining that lead that they got kind of pretty much on that first leg. They started to pull away before that first turning point and maintaining that as they head down towards turning point 3. It does look quite tricky there, like the conditions, their bows are being pulled and pushed.
Yeah, you kind of
tricky.
Yeah, in a sense, the ocean's got control of you, and you have sort of little control over which way you're being pushed. So you kind of got to be sympathetic, and as you were saying, do that kind of ferrying. And to an extent, I mean, how often would you be looking around if the ocean's pushing you like that?
Pretty much constantly you have to, because you know, you could be thinking that you're going one direction, the wind or the waves or the current will have your bow pointing a different direction. So you do really have to maintain contact.
That is a turn.
That was a brilliant turn,
Oh,
yeah.
wow,
Yeah, they really closed in on the
they did.
leaders. Yeah, looking around is a big part of it, and you have to time it right, particularly at ideally you want to be doing it at the finish, just before you go into the recovery and the slide forward. You don't want to be doing it at the catch.
If I was Güneş and Yilmaz there, these two guys in the lead, I'd be really frustrated that the crew behind managed to make at least a length up. They turn better.
It's surprising how like people stuff up the turns a lot, and it's a big part. Like there's 7 turns in the race. You'd need to get good at them.
You would.
Yeah, they're an integral part. The 203 there. Germany 03.
Yeah, so that's the crew from Neusser, and the crew from Flensburg is 207. 2 German crews way back down the course.
Yeah, big gap.
So this, in effect, is for places 19, 20, 21 and 22, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, so they're going to race. You know, it is a European final for them. So This Turkish crew are working hard, you can see it. You know, serving them well. It is actually, it's quite messy, I think, compared to earlier out there.
Yeah, I think the boat is moving quite underneath them. And
Yeah.
you saw a look round from Gunes there, check his course. Not looking round as much as some of the crews that we've seen. So maybe their focus is on that boat behind them and just extending the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't know, maybe they've trained on these waters before. They know where they're going. They might be comfortable with their course. But yeah, you can see the gap between first and second position here now. Again, they were very close at that turn, and now it's opened up again. And there's 1K of a leg here now where those leaders can put on that bit of a push, put on the power. But it is that sideways wind and swell here now again.
It's like Formula One, isn't it? You've got cars that can do the speed on the straight.
Yeah.
And you've got the cars that are great into the corners. So whenever you get a corner and the cars slow down, you have the close up, and then if there's a long straight, the distance opens out, which is kind of exactly what we're seeing here in terms of the abilities of these two boats, A, on the straight, their speed, and B, round the turns.
Yeah. So 650 meters of a leg here now, coming up towards turning marker 4.
So they've gone wide on
Yeah.
that, haven't they?
They are, and like the wind is going to be pushing them off it. So and look at this. The crew behind them are even after going wider again. They're heading for the beach when they shouldn't be. They need to be heading out to sea here now again to line up for the next turn, because as we mentioned, like that ferry gliding, you do need to be angling your, angle that bow into the wind a little bit. The wind is coming offshore into the beach. So you don't want to be going too wide around those turns. So there's, this is the 1K leg here now. Sideways wind, sideways swell. And it's not as smooth as it was earlier. It's a bit messy. Like you can see the blade work. It's kind of messy, hard to get clear. They really need to work hard on getting the hands down and away.
Absolutely.
We saw a few mishaps earlier in the quads, losing oars and things like this, because they weren't clearing the water as much. So yeah, you can really see they're kind of being thrown around a little bit here. So Martin, I think there's talks you might be trying a coastal boat this week, will you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally on for that. Yeah, definitely motivated after seeing these guys get the names right. Ahmed Bozkurt and Muhay Kovan on crew 228, Turkey 06.
Yeah, rowing well. They're dealing well with the conditions. Their bow is kind of sitting out of the water a lot.
Yeah.
So, they have a lot to contend with out there. You can have the perfect race strategy and know what you want to do, but staying aware in the present moment is key to the sport, because you just don't know. The sea is not forgiving and it will throw a lot at you. So you just have to be so adaptable to the conditions.
Yeah, they've got enough distance to think, okay, we're sort of all right, but there is still jeopardy in this race. Of course, you've got the chicane to come. So the two 23-year-olds with the white cap on, Muhait Kovan and Ahmed Bozkurt, the bow seat. On the left of that frozen picture from the drone.
The frozen picture, yeah. Yeah, and Türkiye 05 here. I wonder how hard they're working now. Are they hoping to catch up with them? But, it seems like they've been working hard right around the course and just not really closing the gap too much as we're frozen here.
So there's the warm-up course. We've just switched to a different camera. They're not in view of this camera yet, but they will be coming up to the chicane in about a minute or two, and they will be in view. Perhaps if you've been listening to our commentary earlier, some of the challenges faced by athletes on the training course. Then we see the second place crew, 2 Turkey boats in first and second.
Yeah, they're going to start coming into the view now. They'll be coming in towards the chicane area. They're probably still a couple of 100 meters off it right now. Starting to see them in the distance. But yes, 225 there, Türkiye of 5. Still sitting in that second position. Have you look over their shoulders? They're keeping you nice and steady, not panicking too much. There's still quite a bit of the race to go here now. So, you know, still probably enough distance to make a difference. And, you know, if they're confident in their surf, they can really make a difference towards the shore as they come into the final stages. But right now, no doubt about the leaders.
Yeah, it's been a great leg, a 1K leg for Bozkurt and Kovan. They've really dominated their other compatriots and kind of moved out. I think they've probably taken about 4 or 5 boat lengths easily on this 1 kilometre length.
I think so, yeah. It suited them. That sideways swell, sideways wind has suited them, and that nice long leg. I'm looking out at the sea here. I was going to say that the outer breakers were after calming, but they're actually not. They're still there. they're breaking. They're wild out there. But yeah, they're just coming up towards the first turning marker in that chicane. So it's the first right-hand turn. They're keeping up that nice rate.
There's a good gap between those crews.
Yeah.
And no sight yet of the German crews in 3rd and 4th place in this B final. But a big wide turn for the leading crew there around that buoy. That was kind of quite conservative. And
better here from these, I think.
Yeah. A little closer to the buoy. But they're heading off on that course, which is a good course, the race leaders. They kind of picked it right. I looked through the binoculars and they are on a sweet course to the next buoy in the chicane.
There is, as we look out to the beach, there is a slight drag from right to left, so they want to be careful that they don't go too far down either. They want to kind of stay tight to this second chicane turning marker.
I think, you know, it's kind of like a sort of 100-degree turn. It's almost more than 90.
Yeah, they have to turn slightly offshore again or head out to sea a little bit again. But there's actually a big swell out there where they are now as they come in towards the final marker. There's a big swell there going up and down. And once they turn it, they're going to be facing into some breakers out there. So it's important here that they don't overturn this final marker because they're going to head down towards that beach sprint course again. So they don't want to do that. They just want to, you know, I think actually a lot of crews are overturning that final marker. If they didn't pull that last stroke and just kind of got going a little bit sooner, they'd have a much straighter line into the beach and into the finish line. So here's where we see the big swell now and the big breakers. They're just coming up to it now.
Well, as I look at the leading boat from Türkiye, they're 228. They are sprinting in. They are going, as you say, a bit to starboard side, bow side if you're looking. Can't see that from that shot there, but we can see it because they're approaching us head on. Bozkurt and Kovan.
So you can see here all there's jet skis trying to keep them off the beach sprint training course, which they're doing a pretty good job of it here actually. They're coming right in towards the finish line here now. The 2 German crews actually starting to approach that final marker as well.
Yeah, and they're very close. That might be a decent race in for the 2 German crews. But for 19th place overall, it will be Ahmed Bozkurt who will jump out the boat. There he goes. And he will sprint up towards the finish line, the drone following him and flying up in the air.
Yeah, nice sprint there from him. He had no jelly legs.
He had no jelly legs. Firm as you like.
That is the winners of the final B of the Club Coastal Men's Double Sculls.
And there coming in will be Vail Gunes in 225 with the white sunglasses on. Till he feels the boat touch the ground.
Oh, it's the strokes person running.
Oh, right, so it's Recep Ilmaz.
I wonder, was that planned? A nice sprint there as well.
I think it was planned.
I think it was too. So yeah, two German crews now. They are coming in very different angles into the beach. One way over to the right, one to the...
34 and 45 respectively.
It is becoming very close, and if yes, here we go. The
And
crew are
what's
behind caught a surf, and they are now just about to pass out.
That's crazy.
So Flensburg have now overtaken Neusser. That's the joy of the surf, but now they're being pushed sideways. Oh, they're sideways, they're side on.
That's ridiculous.
Can Neusser get back into the lead? Oh, they have been thrown way off course.
So it's a massive run here. And it's Meyer from Flensburg who takes the win. Oh, that is so gutting. It was the ocean, and Seb Munn, the stroke man of the Neusser crew, destroyed on that sprint for the line.
That's the joy of the surf. It picks you up and takes you wherever it wants to go.
Real illustration there. That was just magic of the power, because they were going to win that race, weren't they? And then suddenly it was like a handbrake turn.
Yeah, they were going to lose it, and then they got they got ahead just because of the surf, and then that surf took them way off course.
It's the only way you could combat that, to have a bigger fin, so the boat has more chance of running straight, or will that not make any difference?
No, it's actually, so when that wave picks you up, so you have to match the speed of the wave number one, but then number two, just because the wave picks you up straight away, or straight, does not mean the boat is going to stay straight. So you have to feel if the boat is going to go left, you need to respond with your right hand and only row with your right hand to stay straight. We'll see lessons from that from Chris Backnow tomorrow. He's amazing at doing that. So that rounds out our B finals.
Yeah.
Three B finals.
Lots of incidents. I mean, you kind of might have to wait for the incidents, but but that kind of makes them more rewarding when they do happen. Confirmation, Turkiye, Tilak came first and second. The crew with Bozkurt and Kovan in first place, and in second place behind them, Gunes and Yilmaz. Flensburg just got to the finish ahead with Meyer and Koch. And then Neusser, well, despair from Phil Holman and Seb Munn after they thought they were going to win. I had to settle for fourth place, which my maths tells me is 23rd place overall in the B final.
Yes, indeed. So lots of exciting racing today. Tomorrow we're going to go on to the A finals of the Club Coastals and the National Federation Coastal Endurance as well. So that will be tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll be moving on to the Beach Sprints. So Martin, it was a great day of racing.
Yeah, lovely day, lovely weather, great conditions, lots of things happening, lots of friendship between the athletes, camaraderie, beach vibes, beach music, what's not to like, and we're going to do it all again tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we will be kicking off. I'm actually not sure what time we're kicking off tomorrow.
I'm going to say 9:30. I thought about that because
So 9 tomorrow, so we'll be joining you. So that's 9 a.m. Türkiye time. That is 8 a.m. Central European time. We'll be getting going with our A finals. So we'll be going up to 6-kilometer races now tomorrow for those.
Yeah, it will be the mixed doubles, the first race on the program. Great names like Nakarainen, Karpinen, Lobnig, all coming down the course in the mixed doubles. Kaiser and Martin Veldhuis, the Paris Olympian. So lots to look forward to as we move out the club coastals and into the national coastals. Excitement. So anyway, that's the program for tomorrow. We're on at 9 o'clock Turkish time, 8 o'clock Central European Summer Time. Join us then. Till then, it's bye from me, Marty Cross, and
bye from me, Nia Face.